subject matter. You've heard all the options in the outline. Basically, place your wagers. And now, for our 50th episode here, I'm going to do something special for you. If you're one of our, gambling game players here on the show, which I know is a craze that took over, a couple months into the show. I'm not sure if that was slightly before or slightly after the Balls Deep drinking game, which is extremely fun to play, I've been told as well. But for this week's episode, I am going to give you a Balls Deep triangle of topics. That's right, we're going to have a pair of three. Yes, I said a pair of three. If you get never mind. But a pair of three topics for our opening segment, which we call Everybody 3, 2, 1, Balls on Fire. What has got me, yours truly, Scotty Ball, the most fired up, the most heated up, on fire, whether it be upset and enraged, whether it be excited and elated. What's really got me the most juiced, the most amped, the most on fire? Balls on fire. So you've got a 3 times greater chance this week of winning than usual, based off of what topic you place your wager on, if you're playing that game. But I'm going to start out with my Vikings / Scotty Ball related news. That is right, I told you I had some very big, exciting news relating yours truly and the Minnesota Vikings team or franchise. It so happened earlier this week that I was contacted with an opportunity to, from this point on, hopefully starting this week, if not this week, next week, almost for sure, I will be allowed to conduct a 15 to 20 minute interview with a different former Viking every Thursday for a Throwback Thursday theme on a website known as VikingsDigitalDiaries.com. I could not be more excited about this opportunity. Granted, I have not done my first interview yet, so it isn't 100% real. And there's if you're a realist or a pessimist, you know that there's still a chance things could fall apart. But it sounds like it's a sure go. Just not sure if it will start this week or next week. So make sure to tune in and tell people, to check that out online, as well as let people know who don't listen to the show that are into the Vikings and might like that, that they can do that. And that we'll, as long as we can get the rights for it, which I'm pretty sure we can, we'll be able to include parts of or all of those interviews here on Balls Deep Sports Talk as well for my Vikings fans who listen every week. So I could not be more excited, more honored to have that opportunity to get to interview former Vikings players and share that experience with all my fellow Vikings fans who want to enjoy it. Again, that will either start this week on Thursday, in which case I will let you know. Just check online, Scotty Ball on Facebook, or at BDST Show on Twitter. Or if that doesn't work, almost 100% then for sure, next Thursday. Again, it will be a Thursday thing. It's a Throwback Thursday theme, hence the former Vikings players. Some are still currently playing football. Some are retired. It's going to completely run the gamut of all different kinds and types of former Vikings players. And like I said, I couldn't be happier about it. So make sure, again, that's going to be on VikingsDigitalDiaries.com is the website that's on. And also we will, assuming we get permission to, we will include at least some of those interviews here on our weekly Balls Deep Sports Talk episodes as well. Now, since we're already on the topic of Vikings and Vikings football, we might as well move then into the second of the three items that have got me the most heated up, the most fired up, balls on fire. And that is revolving around this upcoming Sunday's Pro Bowl. Now, a lot of people don't really care about anything that's going on in regards to the Pro Bowl. What the game's like, who's in it, who's not in it, da-da-da. Like, a lot of people just don't care. I don't necessarily care, per se. I don't know that that's the most accurate word. It's not an entirely inaccurate word, but I don't know that it's the most accurate word. But I do, as with just about everything in general, because it's the type of person I am, I do have an impassioned opinion. And it's not exclusively, including or just about the Minnesota Vikings who are going to the Pro Bowl, but it is mostly inspired by some of them, at least, we'll say. Now, if you haven't heard, a few more Vikings have been named to the Pro Bowl than what was, originally named to the Pro Bowl. And the most recent include Viking safety Harrison Smith, Viking outside linebacker Anthony Barr, and Vikings quarterback Teddy Bridgewater. Yes, that is right. The Vikings quarterback Teddy Bridgewater is a Pro Bowler this year. Now, I could be fired up in the positive way about this, as many of my fellow Vikings fans, and Teddy supporters, for that matter, are. When it comes to Harrison Smith and Anthony Barr, I really can't debate their Pro Bowl talent, and their Pro Bowl production, and their Pro Bowl worthiness one bit. I think the only thing that held them back from being, named to the Pro Bowl sooner in the first place was the couple games that they each missed with injuries throughout the season. I think if they both play a 16-game season, they're, first voting or first alternate Pro Bowlers, not this far down the line. But when you've got a Pro Bowl game, that's what you call it, the Pro Bowl game. These are your all-pros on your, they're your Pro Bowlers, I should say. They're not necessarily your all-pros, but they're your Pro Bowlers. And not the kind that get paid to roll a ball down a lane at 10 white pins. But we're talking Pro Bowlers as in the best of the best at their positions, their respective positions, in the entire NFL. The elite, the best of the best. And if you even remotely followed football, and if you even remotely know anything about football, then you should be of the opinion that Teddy Bridgewater was not even remotely close to what the criteria for a Pro Bowl quarterback should be this past season. Oh, was he terrible? No, of course he wasn't terrible. His team won 11 games, but don't say he won 11 games. I'm so sick of, I've seen so many things where the people's first argument is, he won 11 games. No, he didn't. His team won 11 games. This isn't baseball where the quarterback gets to keep the wins and losses as, an official stat for their individual, numbers. The Pro Bowl is supposed to be for the professionals did their jobs the best this year. Team success should not be factored in at all. It is an individual accolade for individual performance. And to name one of the quarterbacks that gets this honor, to choose the guy who is the quarterback of the 29th ranked passing offense in the league. He is 22nd in touchdowns and 26th in yards, and I want to say 22nd in quarterback rating. He's not even in the top 20 in any statistical quarterback passing category other than completion percentage. And the only reason his completion percentage is high is because A, he's not being asked to throw a lot of passes, and B, the majority of passes that he's asked to throw are 19 yards down the field or less. Now, before you start villainizing me too much, don't get carried away. For the record, I am very happy for Teddy. He's a great human being. And he works hard. It's not to say if you work hard, you necessarily deserve rewards for that, per se. But he's a really good guy, and I'm very happy for him, and I'm not mad at him. It's in no way his fault that he was asked to go. Now, a few interesting things I thought, or at least, a couple interesting things. This year's Pro Bowl ended up when you had the original voting, who's not playing because of injuries, who's not playing because they're in the Super Bowl, things of that nature. Now who's finally going to be in the game. If you take all those players and add them up, you have 133 Pro Bowlers for, I want to say it's 2 teams of 44 is what they field. So it'd be 88 people on the field. There's 133 people who were technically named as Pro Bowlers going through the alternates and stuff. The most ever by far. My problem with it is not with the athletes, obviously. It's me personally liking to protect the definition of words. What a word's exact definition is, and it being used properly is just a stupid little thing that's important to me for some unknown reason. That's just how I'm wired. But having players like Teddy Bridgewater, who had seasons similar to his this year, having people like that being named to the Pro Bowl, it degrades the definition of the word elite. I want these prestigious and historic honors that are supposed to mean something to be able to hold on to that meaning and that prestige, where it's just got this horrible new gen millennial feeling of handing out the same frickin' participation trophy to every kid who plays in the tournament, whether their team won every game or whether their team lost every game. You all get the same giant trophy that says winner on it to take home. That's what it feels like. And I don't know. Like I said, obviously it's not important. It doesn't matter. But just because it's the way I am, I still have a impassioned opinion on the matter, and it has nothing to do with me hating on Teddy or anything like that. If it was, honestly, based off of the statistics, when I was looking the other day at Teddy's numbers and the team numbers for passing when he was named to the Pro Bowl, it would almost be the same as if Sam Bradford was a Pro Bowler this year.